It is Five Boro Bike Tour weekend here in New York City, which is one of my favorite weekends of the year. It's kind of like a big bike holiday. We're kicking off the season of warm weather and good riding, at least the season where you don't have to hype yourself up to get outside and go on a ride. There's just stuff happening all over the city because there's literally thousands of people in town for this. And we're gonna hop around, check out some of the festivities today. It's a beautiful, beautiful weekend so far. Hoping for good weather tomorrow for the Five Boro Bike Tour. Let's get to it. Kicking off Five Boro Bike Tour weekend, we are at the Blessing of the Bikes here at, oh please, yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Kicking off things on Five Boro Bike Tour weekend, we're here at the Blessing of the Bikes at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. It's an event that's been happening for almost 30 years now. Basically, we're gonna go in there, get our bikes blessed by a priest. It's open to all faiths or lack thereof. In 2023, I did this and I had no accidents. And then 2024, I skipped it and I had 2 ER visits. So I'm no scientist, but I know that correlation always equals causation. So this year, I'm gonna make sure we get blessed up.
If you've never heard the sound of tinkling bells, clicking freewheels, and chirping Garmins echo through a cathedral while pipe organ serenades you, you're missing out. Hosted at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine by the Episcopal Diocese of New York, the Blessing of the Bikes has taken place the day before the Five Boro Bike Tour since 1999. The cathedral is enormous. It's the 4th largest church by area in the entire world. The ceremony is calming and reflective. There are psalms and spandex, prayers and Presta valves. The most solemn moment comes with a remembrance of cyclists killed in the past year. Names are read aloud, names known personally by many in the crowd. Then comes the blessing, holy water sprinkled over bikes and riders with prayers for safety and protection. And for a few moments, a space built for quiet reflection fills with the familiar sounds of the cycling world.
To be perfectly honest, I almost skipped out on Five Boro Bike Tour this year. I didn't register until pretty much very last minute, but I kind of figured if I didn't do it, I'd have a lot of FOMO the day of and regret it. But I have done it twice, and it is kind of the same experience every time. It's the same route. If I could offer a few criticisms of the Five Boro Bike Tour, it is a little annoyingly expensive. I ended up registering for $180. I found like a 15% off coupons that saved me a little bit of money. But that just feels a little steep for a one-day event when you compare it to things like RAGBRAI, which you can register for something like $230 if you catch some of the earlier specials. I paid $300 for RAGBRAI, and that is a week of supported camping across an entire state. A chunk of the registration for Five Boro Bike Tour is a charitable donation to Bike NYC or Bike New York, which is an advocacy group that fights for infrastructure improvements in the city, and that's great. Happy for that. It just feels a little bit pricey, if I'm being honest, and not something maybe I'll continue to do every year. Another mild criticism of the Five Boro Bike Tour is that it is a huge event, and so there are thousands of people there, and it has to have broad appeal. So it tends to attract every type of rider and competency level. And a lot of times you're dealing with folks who don't have a lot of experience riding in crowded groups. So you have to navigate some, we'll say intentionally bad behavior, maybe just inexperience. You also have thousands of people coming from out of town who this is like a tourist trip for. And ask any New Yorker about dealing with tourists, happy they're here, happy they're spending money. You just don't want to get stuck behind them. It also tends to attract a lot of the, shall we say, avid cyclist crowd, if you know what I mean. Sounds like I'm being elitist, and maybe I am a little bit, but you know what? That's my God-given right as a New Yorker. It also has all the trappings of a race. You've got a bib number, there's a medal you get at the end, there's wave starts. I mean, To the untrained eye, it feels a lot like the New York City Marathon, but it is very much not a race. You're gonna be dealing with heavy crowds, and it's really important to not push it too hard and cause a wipeout. Hey, how are you?
Good. Do you have a QR code?
So we're wave 2. We gotta enter at 8:30 there somewhere. Here is our route information, including the rest areas. As long as the weather is nice, we're gonna skip the ferry at the end. And we're gonna take the bridge through New Jersey up to George Washington. Try and make a century out of it. Last year, we did that in the rain, and it was the most miserable ride I've ever done in my life. So I told myself I will not be doing that if it's raining. Of course, you exit through the gift shop, all sorts of swag. And that's where you're saying, oh, wait a minute. That's pretty cool. More things to buy. Oh, this way. I know some people swear by these things. All right, packets were picked up. We got pinned these numbers on your jersey and on your bike, and then you got to wear a silly little helmet cover. I'm not really sure how serious they are about that, but we'll see. Just make sure your helmet look really big and a little dorky, you know? Got a coffee. We're at our wave 2 start. There's Stace. A lot of people. But we're caffeinated. We'll be good. Now that's New York, baby. Come, friends. Got some music going. Coming up on Central Park. Central Park could be a little hairy on the Five Boro Bike Tour because there's still people in the park. And 2 years ago, I almost took out this old lady that decided to cross, like, at a very inopportune time. There's also fresh pavement in Central Park now, so it's fun to rip it. We've made it through Central Park and we're spitting out into Harlem. Uptown, baby. Unfortunately, the Bronx section is criminally short. I guess that's just the nature of trying to hit all 5 boroughs, but it would be cool if they changed up the route a little bit every year. Introduce new sections and such, you know? But that feels a little unfair to the Bronx. You look way up there on the Queensboro on the upper roadway, those little dots going across, that's where we're headed. Time to get on the QBB. It's a little bit of a steep incline here, so they got signs telling you to walk it on the sides, ride in the center. So we're coming up on Astoria Park, which is pretty much the biggest rest stop on the Five Boro Bike Tour. Big park, they got the bathrooms out there, a lot of food. I think there's like bands playing too. And I'm definitely ready for both a pee break and a snack break. So we're gonna chill here for a little bit. Since registration is a little pricey, I am aiming to get as many free snacks as possible. I'm gonna maximize my money here. That's a lot of bananas. 6 cents. We found more friends. Woo! Elena, how's your Five Boro Bike Tour so far? Asif, Five Boro Bike Tour review. Got the swag. All right, so we have made it to Brooklyn. Unfortunately, we are starting to get the first of the little rainstorm coming through. We saw it coming on the radar. Our crew, we got jackets out, so I think we're ready. I put the phone away and the 360 camera away. Hopefully the GoPro's all right, but we'll see how long it lasts. Hopefully not long. Made it to the BQE and the rain has started in earnest. You see some people gotta wait it out under the overpass, but Five Boro Bike Tour is rain or shine. Kinda take what they give you. So this is basically the last 10 miles of the ride, is riding on the BQE. There's a little bit of novelty to that, of course. You don't really get to ride on the BQE ever. Of course, when you're up here, you kind of realize, like, why would I want to ride on the BQE? It's, you know, sometimes highway riding is nice because you can get some good pace going. You can't really do that here. The street surface, not asphalt, but it's concrete, and it's like grooved concrete, I'm assuming to help with traction for cars. And then you got these expansion bumps every 10 yards or so. Plus you're exposed to the elements, so it's hard to get a good pace going on here. It's honestly one of the more challenging aspects of the route. It also just seems to go forever. When the sun's out, kind of feels like riding in a desert. Yeah, nothing but sun exposure, no shade, not much change in landscape for a while. In the rain, I can't say it's much better. I suppose this is as good a time as any, since there's nothing else to do. To thank my patrons for supporting the channel. I want to say thank you to Josh, DR, Benny, Asif, my brother Matt, my Aunt Cindy, and Shyler. Thanks to you guys for supporting the channel. I'm gonna put this away now and just continue to get smothered with backsplash from people's wheels. We're a little wet, but we made it to Verrazano. It's time to start the climb. To be honest with you, this is a challenge even for fit riders. This is a giant bridge and a long climb up, but pretty intense ride down. So only one way to go from here. Let's do it. Finish Fest. There's music, there's bathrooms, there's food trucks, but there's no beer. That's a problem. So those who know the real after party is at Hillsborough Brewing, not far from the ferry. think we're gonna head there. Bikes. Horse. Staten Island's built different out here, you know? This is the move.
3 hours later.
Rather than wait in the ferry line, like true sickos, we're gonna ride 15 more miles and go to the Journal Square path train, but we will not continue on all the way to George Washington. Not today, it's too gross. But what's 15 more miles?